Why do we do theatre as a human species? To connect with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean make it?
Mm-hmm.
To offer visions of things. To
Yeah.
offer visions of other worlds. So I think you make a box really with another world in it, and then people lift the lid off the box and see what's inside.
I mean, this is nothing new. People have said like theaters and churches are kind of like, you know, in a culture where we have all of this sort of like interactive media and, you know, 1,000 things to attend to. Like, it's one of the few places where you still like gather in a room and all focus on something together.
You want a serious answer?
Yeah.
I think that storytelling is inherent to our species. It's as important to the evolution of the species as any other activity that we engage in.
I think we need to tell stories to make sense of our life. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's sort of the tradition, right? Is like sit around a campfire and tell a story, and then it's like the act of telling the story and the act of hearing the story is like makes you feel not alone.
You're asking me to try to find words that describe that, and I don't exactly know what those words are.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we still do it? Why do I do it? Why do we do it? I don't know. For somebody who doesn't believe in God, it's the closest thing that we all get to feeling what crazy religious people must feel like in church.
Why do we do theatre as a human species? To connect with each other. Do you mean make it? To offer visions of things. To offer visions of other worlds. So I think you make a box, really, with another world in it, then people lift the lid off the box and see what's inside it. I mean, I think the need to tell stories is deep inside people's DNA. Otherwise, you're invisible to yourself and other people. I mean, I think some people. I mean, I think some. I've never met anybody who's never enjoyed a story of some form, but I have met people who can't abide theatre, who just think it's idiotic and would much rather watch film or read something or listen to music, but I don't know. I don't know what that's from. Or maybe they've just seen bad bits of it. I mean, if it's argued that it's culturally irrelevant, then I still don't know why so many people feel a real need to do it, participate in it, or the people who do want to go and see it. I mean, I really like the fact that you sit in the dark with people you wouldn't ordinarily meet. I just think that's really cool, and I think that's democratic in a way. You know, because you can view the world on this, and this is, well, I think this is one of the most beautiful things ever, and quite extraordinary. But I can't have a relation. I don't have an empathetic relationship with it. I mean, it can give me information, but it can't describe anything so far. I think there's something about being able to like walk for a couple hours in somebody else's shoes, and I don't know, but yeah, there's something, I don't know if I would describe it as magic exactly, because I don't think it's as mystical as that, but like, I don't know. I mean, I think theater is one of the, it's one of the few places that people of all sort of different walks still gather to experience something together. Like, I mean, this is nothing new. People have said, like, theaters and churches are kind of like, you know, in a culture where we have all of this sort of like interactive media and, you know, 1,000 things to attend to. Like, it's one of the places where you can still like focus on something together.
Because we're idiots. Because we want to spend our lives in abject poverty. Because we got into it when we were too young. We just wanted to get laid, and it seemed like an easy way to do that. You want a serious answer? I think that storytelling is inherent to our species. It's as important to the evolution of the species as any other activity that we engage in. I think you know, some other activities that we advance that evolve the species are like competitive sports. I think that's why, or just competition in general, so that in some cases we select for physical attributes, you know, we select for warriors, and we select for certain kinds of intellect, but we also select for great storytellers. And storytelling is what passes the lessons of the past on to the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation.
I think that we need to tell stories for the sense of our life. The act of telling the story and the act of hearing the story is like, makes you feel not alone. That in some fashion, I think it's like inherently human in us to want to share something. I don't know. Yeah, I think. It's like, or you read a story and you feel like really moved by it, and therefore you want to share it with others, which I think is kind of egocentric to say, like, oh yes, I read this and love it, and therefore you need to see it. I think on some fundamental level that's probably true. But I mean, I think it's what you bring to it. I think it... I think it's because we're all natural storytellers. That it's the way we get to know each other, it's the way we share things with each other, it's the way we come closer together. I think we all do that. Some of us just enjoy doing it in front of other people. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there is something really exciting about like seeing a live human being in front of you telling a story, regardless of whether that's just in conversation or whether it's like with all the bells and whistles. Yeah, because you don't exactly ever know what's happening next, but you do know that you get to see it. Whatever it is. I think that's exciting. I mean, I think so. I don't think I'm the right person to ask the question to. Because this is what I do for a living. This is what I do for my life. I, of course, am going to think it's relevant, if nothing else, and out of a sense of self-preservation. It's a question that is almost impossible to answer. Because you're asking me to describe in words something that is inherently just an emotional response. You're asking me to find words that describe actually know what those words are. I mean, why do we still do it? Why do I do it? Why do we do it? I don't know. For somebody who doesn't believe in God, it's the closest thing that we all get to feeling what crazy religious people must feel like in church. That's my answer.